Saudi Arabia's landscape is dominated by vast deserts, including the world's largest sandy desert, the Empty Quarter. This desert is so expansive that for miles, nothing but sand is visible. The heat is so intense that temperatures often exceed 50 degrees Celsius, and rainfall is limited to just a few millimeters a year. In such an environment, the land is completely barren, unsuitable for agriculture, and unable to sustain water reserves. While Saudi Arabia has astonished the world with its oil wealth, water has always been its greatest weakness. Even today, most of the country's water comes from desalination of seawater or deep underground wells, but both methods have their limitations. With the growing demand for water and the need to sustain agriculture in cities, finding a new solution has become essential. This backdrop led the Saudi government to envision a groundbreaking idea. What if this parched land could be watered, transforming deserts into lush, green valleys? This vision gave birth to a megaproject unlike anything the world has ever seen, creating an artificial sea in the heart of the desert. Yes, friends, the Saudi government has unveiled a megaproject that has left the world in awe: the creation of artificial seas to make barren deserts fertile. Under this plan, water from the Red Sea and the Arabian Gulf will be purified using cutting-edge technology and transported through thousands of kilometers of pipelines to the desert's core. The goal isn't just to create a lake or sea but to make the land fertile, promote agriculture, and provide water for local communities. The Saudi government claims this project will not only supply drinking water to desert dwellers but also enable the cultivation of fields in the future, marking a major step toward food self-sufficiency in the Arab world. Initial reports estimate the project's costed billions of dollars, making it one of the world's largest environmental experiments. Saudi leadership asserts that if successful, this project will not only benefit its people but also set a global example of how deserts can be transformed into paradises. Viewers, the strength of this project lies in its use of advanced technology. This isn't a simple process but an incredibly complex and costly endeavor. First, seawater will be processed in desalination plants, where salt and impurities are removed to make it usable. These plants will be among the world's largest and most advanced, capable of purifying millions of gallons of water daily. The purified water will then be transported through thousands of kilometers of pipelines to the deserts, powered by high-capacity pumps operating around the clock. The water will be stored in artificial lakes and reservoirs, not only to moisten the land but also to potentially form a permanent sea in the future. Furthermore, specialized engineering will create water channels in the desert to ensure even distribution, turning entire regions green. Alongside this, plans include planting trees and conducting agricultural experiments to foster not just water but lush vegetation. It sounds like a dream, but in reality, it's the world's largest human experiment to artificially transform a natural environment. Dear friends, if Saudi Arabia succeeds, this won't just be a national triumph, it will write a new chapter in global history. The first major benefit is that the barren deserts of Arabia could become fertile fields. Where sand now drifts, green fields, date orchards, and fruit farms could flourish, enabling Saudi Arabia to achieve food security and ushering the Arab world into a new era of agriculture. The second benefit is access to clean drinking water for local communities. Currently, Saudi Arabia relies heavily on imported water or expensive desalination plants, but this project will deliver water directly to desert populations, improving their quality of life and reducing issues like waterborne diseases and migration. The third benefit is employment. This megaproject will create not thousands but millions of jobs for engineers, laborers, farmers, and those in related industries. The fourth and most intriguing aspect is tourism. Imagine a desert, now scorched by relentless heat, transformed into a place with artificial lakes, seaside-like shores, and green valleys. This could become Saudi Arabia's biggest industry after oil. In short, this project will not only provide water and food but could also turn Saudi Arabia into a new environmental paradise. Additionally, sandstorms, which often wreak havoc in Saudi Arabia, will decrease as moist, green land reduces dust. This will lead to cleaner air and fewer respiratory issues like asthma and allergies. However, like any massive project, there are downsides. The salty byproduct from desalination plants, if dumped back into the sea, could harm marine life. The project also requires enormous amounts of electricity, potentially increasing carbon emissions and contributing to climate change issues. Experts warn that while this project is a great opportunity, it's also a great responsibility. A single misstep could worsen Saudi Arabia's environment instead of improving it. Viewers, on the surface, this project seems like a dream, but it faces significant challenges. The first hurdle is financial cost, estimated not in billions but trillions of dollars. The expense of laying pipelines and building desalination plants alone dwarfs the budgets of many countries.
The second challenge is energy.
Running desalination plants and pumping water across thousands of kilometers requires massive power sources, meaning Saudi Arabia must either generate more electricity or heavily invest in alternatives like solar and wind energy.
The third challenge is environmental concerns.
As mentioned, the salty waste from desalination could damage marine ecosystems, and creating artificial lakes and deserts could disrupt local environmental balances, with impacts that may only become clear decades later.
The fourth challenge is sustainability. This isn't a one-time project, it requires continuous water supply to succeed.
If, for any reason, this process stops in the future, the entire project could collapse. Dear friends, in short, turning this dream into reality won't be easy for Saudi Arabia.
It's a path of both opportunity and risk. The question now is, will this artificial sea, built with trillions of dollars, be a blessing or a burden for future generations?
This project teaches us the importance of balancing progress with environmental care, because tampering with nature can have consequences beyond our control.
What do you think? Will Saudi Arabia succeed in turning its deserts into seas? If so, will this be the world's greatest environmental revolution? Share your thoughts in the comments below.